1, 2, 3, 4.
All we are saying is give Pete a chance.
Pete Carroll, it's a new era of Seahawk football.
All we are saying is give Pete a chance.
Seahawk domination is just around the corner. Come on, Seahawk Nation.
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s from around the world. I'm Mosette, and here's your host, and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you. This is your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity, and welcome, one and all, to a very special Pete Carroll edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, episode 1123, as the Seattle Seahawks get ready to take on life without Coach Carroll. Hard to believe, but true. So do yourselves a favor, put your tray table up, put your seat back in the full upright position. Please fasten your safety belts. Keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times. And what can I tell you? 14 years ago, I literally said, all I'm saying is give Pete a chance. And I'm so glad we did. To join me on this special Pete Carroll and also season ending of the Seahawks season, but we'll talk more about that later, is the 12-Man Fan Jam Show posse. Over there is Matt from Old England. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Fine. How are you holding up?
Well, I'm glad we're all still here. I was worried about that. We were going to be the next ones to get hit from the mass.
So far, so good, but we have one more episode before we get our contract rolled in. So,
so one more to go.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm off to Alabama's podcast.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, I'm off to the Who Dat show. Sorry.
Well,
I'm
that
going
guy,
to be a consultant now.
our consultant is Dustin. Hi, Dustin, consultant.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for being a consultant for us.
Yeah, no problem. I do a lot of consulting.
Yeah.
You know, about
Google.
stuff. Yeah.
Things and stuff and things.
Yeah.
He consults Google every day.
He
Yeah, I
does.
do.
He
Yeah,
does.
especially during trivia. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. And that over there who is going to Alabama is Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Doing okay. I was thinking of you the other day. I'm sure you're feeling very grateful that you're not a Patriot now.
Oh, yeah.
Because their new coach is named Gerard Mayo.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
that's funny.
What the hell, man?
Yeah. No.
Give
No,
Mayo a
Gerard-
chance, Moses.
Great play out. I know. I will not give Gerard. That would have been, I guess, now my number 3 nightmare of the scenario that we're approaching.
Yeah.
Would have been that one. Never put that together, but now I have, and I'll vomit every time I watch the Patriots. It'll be fun. And that over there is my son, Little Mo. Little Mo, how you doing?
Well, it's been a very interesting week.
Yeah.
You know, people forget not to try to bring this up on this podcast, but you know, the national championship game was on Monday, and I feel like that's been like four weeks ago.
It feels like it's been a couple months ago. It really does.
Last couple of days, the Patriots, you know, got rid of Belichick. They hired the youngest coach, and Pete and Saban retiring, and Washington's coach going to Alabama. It's like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
It's crazy going on. Who you got there with you? Is that dude?
It's dude. He just got let
dude.
outside. He's got let outside, so he's cold. So we'll
It's
warm him up with a
snowing, so
little
warm.
blanket.
That's good.
He's a
That's-
sensitive boy.
Oh.
Who's your good boy?
He's a good boy.
Dude.
The big sweetie. He's like, I know that.
Yeah. I'm
All right,
aware.
well.
Thank you.
We decided, well, as recently as just a couple days ago, obviously, that
You
in light
did.
of recent news, well, I decided that this is usually our season ending. It's not our season finale. Our finale is after the Super Bowl, and I'll explain that later. But we were going to talk about the Cardinal game and all that, and then news hit of Pete Carroll, and he certainly deserves an entire show to himself. So we are going to do that. So let's see how this Pete Carroll edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show is going to be run. 12-man Fan Jam show format. It's 4 quarters and a halftime, even when we do a special edition like we're doing today for Pete Carroll to celebrate the man, the coach, the legend. And we, of course, want to thank Pete. Quarter one, we're going to talk about the Fam Jammies Awards are coming up. So the 12-man Fan Jam Awards will be coming up. When that's going to be, our season finale for this season, all that's coming up in the first quarter, along with nominations for the awards and how you can vote on those awards. It is up to voters on those awards. And then quarter two, we'll talk about our reaction to the news about Pete Carroll, our initial reactions, our thoughts, and if we think that, yeah, or no, we shouldn't do this right now. We'll see. Halftime is the best Seahawk-themed trivia game on the internet. I refer to, of course, 12-man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Of the world.
The world. Last week's winner.
I don't know. That was like 5 years ago.
Will.
Oh, looks like it was Will.
It was Will. Was a really, was it? Yeah, it was a really odd one. And then you winning wasn't odd.
No,
It was just not turn.
It was just it was odd that Will won. Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Wow.
That never happens.
Quarter three, we'll talk about Pete Carroll, our favorite Pete Carroll memories, personal or otherwise, and just kind of bask in the warm glow of the Pete Carrollness that was Pete Carroll. And in fourth quarter, we'll give our personal thank yous to Pete, whatever we want to say in closing. A wonderful career for a wonderful coach and a wonderful human being in Pete Carroll. We want to remind you that we are pumped and jacked all over the internet. That sounded kind of...
Whoa. Yeah, I was going to say.
I might back that one up a little bit.
Dennis is jacked all over your internet.
Don't shine a black light on this podcast.
And he's pumping in you. Wait.
He's got the juice.
Yeah.
You see where we're being found. I can't talk.
Do not use your black
Fan
light.
Jam Show Facebook pages where you're going to want to see the voting. You know where to find us on YouTube, I hope, and how to email us. It's all right there. And of course, we're on the Tiki-Taki at 12-Man Fan. You want a Tiki-Taki? And 12-Man Fan Jam Show is a Seahawk Positivity production. And now let's move on to the man, the myth, the legend, the Fan Jammy. Yes. It is time to bring out our 11th annual 12-Man Fan Jam Show season-ending awards, or as I like to call them, the Fan Jammies. And
12-man Fan Jammy time. 12-man Fan Jammy time. 12-man Fan Jammy. 12-man Fan Jammy. 12-man Fan Jammy. Baseball bat.
Say what? Got dude going with that one.
Wow.
yeah. All right.
He's excited.
Moving on.
Yes. We have our first award is for Offensive Player of the Year. And I put
Jason Myers.
Jason Myers is not on there. DK Metcalf, Geno Smith, JSN, and Kenneth Walker. Dustin, who would you see winning that award this year?
It's tough. Kenneth missed some games. He was a solid runner. He missed some games. Geno missed games, and he had a few where he was off. Jackson Smith and Jigba, he came on later in the season. He was kind of a non-factor early on. So I guess by process of elimination, I'm going DK Metcalf.
He's going DK Metcalf. Will?
I'm going Metcalf also, just because, I mean, he had some rough patches this year, which has been well documented, but he really turned it on at the end of the year. And when he was on his game, he was basically unstoppable.
He was.
True. And if you change the pronunciation a little bit to offensive, that explains why he got kicked out a few times as well.
Yeah, it works on so many levels.
Yeah.
That was excellent. That was fantastic, Matt.
Thank you.
I'll go with JSN. I just think that he had some standout games, standout moments, some incredible catches.
Nice.
I think he's got a shot at it.
All right,
Well,
Lomo.
that equal, sure.
Huh? What?
What? Oh, hey, Lomo, how you doing?
DK is the only right answer.
DK's the only right answer, according to Lomo.
If you vote anything else,
But-
you're wrong. And
But
stupid.
Geno Smith had a lot of fourth quarter comebacks. They have 5 or something in the last minute or something.
Well, I think
weird.
Yeah.
If it
And who was he
out,
throwing to the
Yeah.
whole time?
Boy,
DK
man.
Metcalf.
If he'd have sorted out the first 3 quarters, he wouldn't have needed to have lots of fourth quarter comebacks, would he?
That too.
Shots fired. All
That
right.
is fair.
That's fair. All right. So those are our nominations for offensive or offensive player of the year.
Just offensive.
Next up is defensive player or defensive player of the year. Julian Love is nominated. Boye Mafe is nominated. Bobby Wagner is nominated. And Devon Witherspoon. This is a tough group, little Mo. Who's the right answer here?
I don't know.
a little tougher.
It's tough.
I'm gonna say, I think Bobby was just good like all season.
All
So
right.
I think Bobby.
You're going with
is who I'll
Bobby.
go with.
Fair enough, Matt.
I was going to agree. All pro again, 148 tackles or something, leading tackles on the team. Yeah, I'll take it.
Amazing amount of tackles. Yeah, Dustin.
I think Bobby was the most consistent, but I think Witherspoon had the most passion for the defense. So I'm going to go with Witherspoon.
Oh, nice. Will?
I'm going with Spoon also. I mean, he made some huge plays, and week in, week out, he was the one guy you can always count on to show up, show out.
But, Mafe, I mean, to defend the other two, Julian Love was vitally important to the defense, it felt like. And
all these guys really
really deserve it. Mafe had, 7 straight games with a sack or something?
Yep.
Yeah,
So, they all were pretty good. It's hard to have Bobby on the list and not vote for him.
Yeah.
But then Devon Witherspoon, I'm not quite sure where I vote there yet. Probably Bobby.
He had some injury concerns too, or missed a couple games because of injury. But when he was in the game, you knew he was in the game. He made an impact.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
You forgot to put Jamal Adams on here.
Yeah, I did.
The Seahawks forgot to put him on the field too.
There was a game restriction at the time.
There's a reason why he's not on here. And then game of the year. This is kind of hard to do because we had won 9 games. So I only picked 4. I thought the Giants and the Lions game was a good choice. And then the come from behind against the Eagles. And then beating the Cardinals last game of the year. Matt, what do you think on that one?
I'm going for the Eagles for me. That was the game that I enjoyed, I think, the most out of them. They seemed to be the most complete at some point. So that's what
I think we had the most fun with that one.
Yeah,
we did. Dustin, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna go with the Giants game just because blowouts are fun and we didn't have many.
Yeah. Well,
the Giants game was certainly the most enjoyable game of the year. But I got to go for the Eagles because that was just still such an epic comeback, and that's when people still thought the Eagles were good even after they'd lost a couple of games.
True.
So nobody expected us to win that one, and we pulled it off. So
yeah,
pulled it right off.
Pulled it right off. Holy cow, little Mo! What's the game of the year?
I'm not going to keep that going.
Think as hard as you can.
I think the Giants game was cool because we got pass rush, which is something that we don't ever do. But I actually liked the Lions game a lot.
Oh yeah, that was exciting. I'm going with the Giants game because I just feel like that was the best game of the year on both sides of the ball. So that's why I'm going with that one. So we are going to have those you're going to vote on. We'll tell you how to do that in a minute. We also have other awards on that award show, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So let's get to that. I guess we'll just go right to that if we're talking about it. Here's how this works. The 11th annual Fan Jammies will be presented. Voting is going to start on Monday, January 15th. I will put the each individual category up on the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page, so you can see it there. I will also put it on Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. The heck with X. No one calls it X. Everyone calls it Twitter. You can email.
I think of X, I think of DMX. That's X.
Yeah, you can email us at 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com with your answers. You can. I'm going to put them on Twitter as well. And you can comment on this video, however you want to do it. You have from January 15th until February 11th, which is the Super Bowl Sunday. The deadline is Super Bowl Sunday for your comment on who you think won the Fan Jammies we presented. Then we will have our season finale, our final show, episode 1124 of this season. February 16th is when we will record. It will be out after that. It will be a jam-packed, fun show. Believe me, they always are. Season finales are always a good time. We're going to have awards. We're going to have surprises, more awards that you don't vote on. We have our Posse Prediction Challenge Awards. We have other awards that you may not expect and maybe some surprise guests as well. So always a good time. So our season
Jason Myers is joining the show, guys.
It's official. It's official.
Wouldn't be the first time we had a special teamer on the show.
That's true. That's very true. And so look forward to that episode 1124. But this is episode 1123, and this is the end of that first quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, we have from here on out, it's dedicated to the greatest coach in Seattle Seahawks history, and that is one Mr. Pete Carroll, who deserves
Dennis
the rest of
Erickson.
the show. Not Dennis Erickson, and sure it is not Jim Mora. So it is definitely Pete Carroll. We'll come back and talk about our initial reactions about his decision, or the decision, I guess, that the Seahawks made, and we'll talk about that right after this.
You are watching the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
That's the fact, Jack!
It's the second quarter.
Yes, welcome to the second quarter of a very special Pete Carroll edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, episode 1123, dedicated to Pete Carroll. And recent news, obviously, has parted ways as head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. And we wanted to kind of give him his due and kind of dedicate a whole episode to him. We did the nominations in the first quarter, but this is really all about Pete Carroll from here on out. So I want to read the original statement that the Seahawks sent out that we all saw. And then I kind of want to roundtable your discussions, your thoughts on this, how you felt when it happened. After thoughtful meetings and careful consideration for the best interest of the franchise, we have amicably agreed with Pete Carroll that his role will evolve from head coach to remain with the organization as an advisor. Pete is the winningest coach in Seahawks history, through the city, brought the city its first Super Bowl title, and created a tremendous impact over the past 14 years on the field and in the community. His expertise in leadership and building a championship culture will continue as an integral part of our organization moving forward. Pete will always be a beloved member of the Seahawk family. So, I want to start with the youngin, because the youngin doesn't know life without Pete. The youngin was 4 when Pete became head coach. So, little Mo, what was your reaction when you realized that was happening?
Well, I woke up with a million notifications on my phone. So that's what happened. But what was my reaction? Shocked, but not shocked. I mean, I had a feeling it was going to happen, but still shocked that it happened. I'll say that what she said was with that statement is just, it sounded like he got fired because it sounded like he wanted to keep coaching.
Yeah.
So I was shocked. I had a feeling they were just going to make him retire instead of give him a better opportunity. Even though I think that's, I don't know. It was, I was shocked, but not shocked at the same time when it happened.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? What were your thoughts?
I wasn't super shocked. I suppose if you give me like a scale of sort of 0 to 10, I was about 6. The only reason I was slightly my eyebrows raised was because we had a winning record this year. Had we not have done, I would have been less surprised. I think we played this game only a few weeks ago where we said whether we thought we should move on from Pete Carroll or not.
We did.
I can't remember exactly why I said that, but I'm pretty sure I probably said yes. Have I been ready to move on from Pete? I've been ready to see different coaching styles in Seattle. I like Pete. I like his can-do philosophy. I like his optimism. I like his ability to draw the best out of people. I don't like his lack of urgency. I don't like the idea that you have to wait to the fourth quarter to do anything. I don't like any of that. I think that's crap. I don't like his I didn't like some of his not disciplining the team in a way which I feel he should have done to a degree. You can it's that old adage, can you be someone's friend and someone's boss kind of thing? And he plays a very fine line between that. Now that works for some players. I get that. It's a player's coach, it's a player's team. I just wanted to see some bit more discipline on the sidelines. That was always a bit annoying for me. But was I surprised? No. I will say this though. The award for the classiest exit interview ever given by a coach on a platform on the day that he is fired goes to Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
That was a classy move and absolutely just incredibly well handled from him. And I do media as a day job every day, all day. brilliantly handled. To get a standing ovation from the local media and press and journalists as you leave, that's special.
Speaks
That's a
volumes.
special person. Incredible human being. I absolutely loved his comments about how the NFL should be trying to create superheroes for young kids, and should be supporting players throughout the whole of their life, not just when they're useful to the league. Actually, I think, what role will he have going forward? He doesn't really know, to be honest. So I don't really know. But I do have a sneaky suspicion in my head that he does know who the likely replacement is going to be. I don't think that would be something that he wouldn't understand or wouldn't know. That was the only time when he was answering questions where I felt that he was being dishonest. He knew, but he just couldn't say it. But he knew. But all in all, I wasn't particularly overly shocked. I'm happy about it. I'm sad. I feel like we're in that sort of period after a death almost. That sort of period of change, that mourning moment of grief. But I am also quite excited to see what comes next, because I don't necessarily think that Pete was, everything that made our success happen. I think we had some good luck. I think we had some good players. I think we had lots of good things happening as well. But it's a massive monumental change for the team. I don't have any ill will towards the ownership, because I think they have to do what they think is right. And it was clearly amicable. It wasn't a hate fest. So that seems to be handled correctly as well. John Schneider has been sitting in the wings for 14 years, working with his, being the Robin to Batman, so to speak. And now he gets to put on the big mask and do the big job. Well, okay, well, let's do that then. Let's see how he gets on. And if you're going to have a GM to do that, I'm quite happy to sit there and let John Schneider do it.
Amen.
So we are, of all the 7 teams that were head coaching positions or something?
8 now, I think.
8
Well,
now,
Patriots already filled those.
Oh, they filled theirs.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So of the number of teams available for head coaching positions, Seattle was by far the most complete and the most attractive, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
look forward. I'm always looking forward to positivity of what comes next.
Well, we'll kind of play fortune teller here in a minute, but Dustin, your initial reaction to the news?
I mean, kind of been getting mentally prepared for this for a couple seasons now, really. I mean, his contract is going to be up here before too long. The man's in his 70s. It's not going to last forever. And it's become apparently, or very apparent, that we're not getting better as a team. We're kind of sitting in the same, we're not quite mediocre, but not good enough to advance in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So we're good enough to be in the playoffs, just not good enough to get past that first round of the playoffs. And that's been several years. So it was inevitable that it was coming, but even if you're mentally prepared, that doesn't make it any easier. That man brought so much to Seattle and the city, and the players that he brought in, and created so many memories and whatnot, that it's sad to see him go. But like Matt was saying, it's you're looking forward to what happens next. And then when you were talking to Little Mo there for a minute, it reminded me of when Mike Holmgren left Seattle. My kids were very little when Holmgren came in. And so, growing up for Will or myself or Matt, even you probably, Dennis, the Seahawks traditionally were not a good team. We lived through a lot of bad times. My kids, through first Mike Holmgren and then Pete Carroll, they've never known the Seahawks to be anything but a success. They've been a good team, except for the Mora year. But for every other year, they've been a good team. And when Holmgren left, I remember calling into KJR and talking to Ian Furness and Elise Woodward at the time about how I appreciated Holmgren because he gave my kids a different childhood than I did with the Seahawks. He was able to bring a winning culture and make the team good, and that's what my kids knew, and that was a lot of fun for them. And Little Mo has the same thing. He grew up knowing the Seahawks were a good team, and he didn't have those same
why are you wearing that
years and all that kind of crap.
I still get that. Don't worry.
He didn't have to watch Stan Gelbaugh play quarterback.
Stan Gelbaugh, Kelly Stauffer.
So I mean, it's just the unique perspective that he brought to people like Little Mo, and the way he knows the Seahawks versus the way some of the older people know the Seahawks. That's, you got to treasure that.
Absolutely. A couple of points before I go to Will. You said something I was going to bring up is Mike Holmgren brought in a culture change, and he said his first press conference, Mike Holmgren, I have to change the culture from the secretaries and the janitors all the way up to the CEO. He changed that culture. So he made us no longer a laughing stock, but then Pete took that culture and made us where you could say Seahawks and Super Bowl in the same sentence and not laugh while you're saying it. So it's like Holmgren brought us here, Pete brought us here.
Champions.
So, yeah. So next guy, I mean, so another thing is we forget when he came in, and I said this when it happened. I said we are either going to be 6-10 for 4 years, or we're going to have multiple Super Bowls, because he was not. Now everyone's doing what Pete did 14 years ago. They're playing music at practices, they're screaming, they're yelling, they're having a good time, they're dancing, they're getting enthusiastic at practices. Not everybody, nobody did that before Pete came in. And that's why I said it's so unorthodox. It's either going to really work or really not. And it really worked.
Part of that's his coaching tree. I mean, he's had coaches go other places, and they've taken what works and done a lot of that. And
they have.
Shit, like the Legion of Boom created rule changes. There were several years in a row there where something would happen in a game, and then with the Legion of Boom, then the next year they changed the rules. So that couldn't happen. They had that kind of a league.
He did. They did. Will, your reaction?
Well, it was funny because Wednesday afternoon on my lunch break, I'm thinking, oh, well, it's kind of a slow day. I think I'll go get my oil changed. So drove down to the place, pulled in. I start working on my car. I pull out my phone. As soon as I pull out my phone, literally, that pops up on the screen. It's like Pete Carroll out as head coach.
Wow.
So I will never forget where I was when I got the news. The Jiffy Lube homish. You know, like Matt said, we discussed it. We talked about it a few times this year, and some of us had thought, yeah, it was probably time to move on. But when it happened, I guess I just realized I hadn't really expected that to happen. I just kind of thought that we were going to go at least a couple more years along the same vein to see if we could run it back one more time with basically what we had. And ownership apparently had other ideas. But yeah, Pete Carroll, like you guys have said, Pete Carroll put Seattle on the map in a way that I never really thought possible. Holmgren had a nice run here, but when Jim Mora took over for him and everything went back into the tank, there was definitely kind of a feel of, well, okay, that's over. So now we're going back to being the league's most invisible team.
Right, exactly, certainly.
And four years later, we were winning our first Super Bowl. So, but it's nothing lasts forever, and it feels like the end of a long-term relationship. I mean, it's not working anymore. It's not quite working, and you manage to part amicably, and but it's time for something different, and it has that feel to it, and you sit back and you're sad because it's over, and you remember all the good times that you had, but it's time to see what's going to happen next. And Pete Carroll put Seattle on the map in this town too. I mean, I can remember, and Dustin, you may remember growing up that nobody around here, hardly anybody around here, were Seahawk fans.
Nobody at school was wearing Seahawks gear. Nobody.
Well, not nobody. But then again, I was kind of the geek, so oh well. Even Holmgren's first couple of years, we still had blackouts and and stadiums that weren't sold out, and we haven't had that, But now all of a sudden, the last few years, we've had 5-6 primetime games.
Yeah, primetime games, amazing.
And like you said, Moses, he changed the culture, the music at practice, the always compete, all that stuff. I mean, he made his mark on the league.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
He
Something
definitely
he said there reminded me of Tony Stark, actually. Just a random quote there. You're talking about the journey, and part of the journey is the end. And we're at the end now. And
we are.
It was a hell of a ride.
Pete, I love you 3000.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, absolutely. A lot of good stuff there. I guess I want to end this quarter by just real quick, and it is about Pete Carroll, but this moving forward, while we still have a chance, because when we do our next show, it might be a month from now, we might have our answer. So I let you all be Jody Allen for just a minute, and Matt finally gets his chance.
Give me the
And-
money.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
And
I'm outta
you are
here.
going to hire.
I quit. I'm going to the Caribbean. See
You're
ya.
going to hire the new head coach for the Seahawks.
Fuck you. You're cool.
And I'm going to start with Will. Will, your press conference, the new Seahawk coach is whom?
You know, there was a
Make us drop a
name
name.
that popped up on Brock and Salk's show that
Okay.
just really kind of intrigues me a little bit, and it's kind of going back to the well again, pilfering a USC coach. But you want to do something different? You want to get an offensive-minded coach? How about Lincoln Riley?
Ooh.
Bring him in, do some interesting stuff. It's a little outside.
Nice.
I mean, there's a lot of guys I'd be thrilled to see Dan Quinn or Mike
Sure.
Vrabel.
Sure.
You want an offensive guy, the Lions offensive coordinator. I mean, the man managed to turn Jared Goff into a playoff caliber quarterback. but,
Truth.
Lincoln Riley would be
That's an interesting choice. I
intriguing
like that, Will. That's unique. Little Mo?
I don't know. I think a Mike Vrabel or a Dan Quinn. Anybody but Hallball, please. Oh,
Oh,
Ah,
I hear
Yeah.
everybody talking about Hallball. Please, no.
I know.
Everybody in San Francisco hated Jim Harbaugh with a passion after 4 years. His players, the front office, the guy. It's just he's
Yeah,
he's a
please don't.
incredible college coach. Leave him there.
Let's don't.
Yeah.
Let's not make that. And let's not make the Bill Belichick mistake. I don't know. You guys, I'm not going to play your hands. If you want to say Bill, that's fine. But, okay, let's not do the Bill Belichick thing here. Let's bring someone else in.
No.
But that's just me. Dustin, your new coach for the Seahawks is?
No, honestly, I have no idea because I don't even know what kind of coach I want for the Seahawks. I like the idea of the young, innovative offensive coordinator because we have some young talent on the offense that I think could be really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those systems. But at the
Yeah.
same time, my favorite kind of football is a strong defensive football team. So I don't even know what kind I want. And I know I don't want Harbaugh, like Loma was saying. And I think the comment I said when I heard about people talking about that, I was like, no, man, that'd be like some real live Cobra Kai shit.
Yeah, it would be.
Having
Swing
swing the
Daniel and
leg. Swing
Yeah,
the
I mean,
leg.
Daniel and Johnny coming together to create a new school, Miyagi-Do.
No, no,
I don't see it happening.
No.
They're not going to get along that well.
no.
So
Hell no.
I don't know because,
No.
like I said, it's still so new that
Yeah.
I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
So I have no
Yeah.
idea. I want Jody's money. That's what I want.
Yeah, you go. Matt, your new head coach?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking as well, if you're going to go, I can't think who the Texans' offensive coordinator is. I want to say Slovic, but I think I've got the wrong name there.
I have no clue.
Who is the Texans? I'm going to have to Google it. Let me do it. I'm going to have to check now. It's gonna
All right.
Kind of interesting one now, just randomly. Dude that was the Cowboys offensive coordinator, and I think he's in San Diego now.
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, he's from Prosser, Washington. Went to Boise. He's a local guy.
Oh.
Yeah, could be interesting.
It was
Same town my mom lives in.
Bobby Slovic was the name I was
Bobby
thinking of one, which is the offensive coordinator at the Texans. But again, that's if you want to go to a different direction. I don't kind of want to go too far away from what we've got because what we've got doesn't not work. It's not a case of it's
That's true.
useless and rubbish. So you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of metaphor. So you could go.
You never want
I
to do
think
that.
the obvious choice, of course, is Dan Quinn because he was Legion of Boom creator. He was here when that all happened. He was, it's in his genes. It's kind of he's always.
My
been
worry
the
about
kind
that
of,
is it would be too much of the same.
and that's
I
my
wonder about
thing.
that.
Is it too much of the same? So if you want to sort of have a look again at another option, then I think Vrabel is one of those names that pops into my head as a possible option there.
I thought Vrabel was a
kind of-
decent coach.
Yeah.
Here's the
And
name
he's
that
got
nobody.
Super Bowl pedigree too that people
Yeah.
would respect.
Here's the name that is going to be a real dark horse because no one's even going to think of this. But it's a name that gets
Pete
thrown out
Carroll.
a lot around coaching circles. Eric Bieniemy.
The enemy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This guy has been itching for a job for years. He is from a winning corporate organization with Kansas City. He was right, but Eric Bieniemy, that would be a real surprise. But
Well,
this
then-
young man has wanted a job for a while.
Yeah, here's the problem I have with that now. Part of the reasoning that they're talking about with Pete leaving is he was having and it showed during the season, having a hard time relating to the players and like his message not getting heard. And even Pete at one point when Brock and Salk asked him about it, Pete's like, I don't know, ask them. Next question.
Yeah.
Right,
Next
right,
question.
right. I remember that.
Yeah. And
Thanks
from
for
what I've
asking.
heard, from everything we've heard about the enemy, he's way too much of a disciplinarian, too much of a hardcore,
Oh, okay.
like old school football
Okay.
kind of coach behind the scenes. And I don't know if we're already having Pete Carroll can't get his message across to these guys. I
Yeah.
don't know if they're going to respond to what
Right.
the enemy wants to do.
Right.
So,
Well, in all honesty, my dream is Dan Quinn. I mean, honestly, I know you say you
And then he brings in Gus Bradley as a defensive coordinator.
Oh, I feel faint. I feel faint if that were to happen. But yeah, my dream is Dan Quinn. But Eric,
I will say I'm interested in whoever the new head coach is. One, are they going to keep the coordinators? And two,
they
is
won't.
Geno Smith their quarterback that they believe that they can win? with?
maybe
Well,
for 1 year, maybe for 1 year.
exactly
'cause-
for 1 year he might be.
yeah, no, he's going to be gone. Honestly, my dream scenario was that Pete stayed on for a couple more years, and during that time, McVay got fired.
Sean McVay.
Seattle could be.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I've said that, but I said that last when McVay took that funny one, that couple of year contract, but we all thought he was going to leave the Rams because he wasn't very happy.
Oh
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this would be a perfect time for Pete to retire.
Right?
Right now.
Well, I just
Right.
think McVay,
Yeah.
if he leaves, I just think he's going to take a TV job anyway. So
Oh,
Yeah.
possibly, but I mean, if
Right.
I was Jody Allen and I've got the money, I'm going to offer him a hell of a contract.
That's the thing. There's no salary cap in the coaching position, so she can go out there, and that's what they did with Pete. They went down, made Pete an offer he just couldn't refuse. And I mean, we can do this again with anybody.
And
It
whenever
could
they
be-
tell you it's not about the money, it's about the money.
It could be freaking
about money.
They could be freaking Nick Saban. I mean, she'd go down to Saban and get, hey, $20 million a year, and be like, well, I can go a couple more years. Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm just throwing that out as an example. Now,
I'm not suggesting that. Just
I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that she could do that.
But wouldn't it be interesting though if Quinn comes back? And I do think Quinn's the front runner. I genuinely do think Quinn's the front runner. In fact, I think he's probably
Me
already
too.
preordained. That if Pete does stay on in some capacity or other, however that looks, that's a weird dynamic to have those two switched around almost.
It is.
I don't know how that
true.
would work, unless of course you give Pete something else to be focusing on, like I don't know, being the head coach at Washington University, because he loves that
happen.
kind of coaching kind of young people, bringing them through and all that sort of stuff, and it would be ideal for him.
I tell you what, if there's a team out there that wants to bring in a coach for a couple of years, Pete Carroll could get a job offer.
He could.
I just don't think he wants to go anywhere. Like I know he wants to keep coaching, but I don't think he wants to coach anywhere else. Like I think Seahawks are bust.
And that's
Bust
why I
at
think
this point.
Washington.
Here's-
That's
There
why
might be some
Washington
high school
works.
teams. Might be some high school teams. looking
Here's
for
an
a coach
idea
then.
though. Here's an idea though. Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
Good
Chargers.
team, can't get over the hump. Pete Carroll's still big down there.
Make a
It's
better LA.
familiar environs, and you don't have to deal with Jim Harbaugh nuking the place on his way out. So
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I could
That's
definitely see
interesting.
him down there.
Interesting stuff,
I will
guys.
say it's interesting that Dan Campbell, a couple days before the Pete Carroll
You mean
news
Dan
said
Quinn.
he wants. I'm sorry, Dan Quinn. That he goes, I want to be a head coach in the NFL again. When he
Yeah.
hasn't the last couple of years.
It was like
And
all
then
of a sudden, one of the talking heads on the news said after a couple years of turning down head coaching interviews, Dan told me personally I'm ready to coach again. And then within a couple days later, Pete stepped down.
Yeah,
Hmm.
what is
Trickle
interesting, something else that's interesting about that too, in a way, is so now I said that might be more of the same, and that's not necessarily something I want. However, Pete Carroll had failures before he got to USC.
Yeah.
And it took him those failures to figure out
Sure.
exactly what he wanted to be and who he wanted to
Absolutely.
be as a head coach and how he wanted to go about it. And if you read his book, which I'm sure probably all
Yeah,
of us have,
I have.
Win Forever, he talks about that. He
Yeah.
took that time to sort it out.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn might be in the same boat as far as
Sure.
that goes.
and
Kind
and,
of.
and
Go ahead.
and Dan Quinn is not running the same defense that he ran here or that even in Atlanta. He's
Atlanta,
evolved
yeah.
coaching philosophy.
Well, and I honestly didn't think Dan did a bad job in Atlanta with what he had
But
Brought
that's
them
overall.
to the
point.
Super Bowl.
He was hamstrung by bloody pliers in bloody Atlanta
Yeah,
and what he was
yeah.
facing.
Yeah. So we'll see. But we'll stop there. Let's end the first quarter.
Second quarter.
No.
Second,
How about we end the second quarter? Let's end the second quarter.
Okay.
What's in the first one again? What the hell?
Nah.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
Second quarter, thank you for all your input on your reactions. I hope that you watching could kind of familiarize yourself, say, yeah, that was me at the reaction, and a little fun playing Jody Allen, see who we thought the new coach might be. Hopefully, we'll have a really good idea when the next show comes on after the Super Bowl. But it is time to move on to America's favorite Seahawk-themed video.
Say what?
Seahawk-themed
Trivia?
game trivia
Oh,
show
no.
on the internet. 12-man Fan Jam show, halftime trivia.
Of the world.
You can see it
Spit it
buffering.
out, Junior.
Yeah,
It was
you're
going.
buffering.
That's all right.
Hamster's falling
I'm
off
going to
the wheel.
rebuffer, and we'll come back with halftime right after this.
Put one of
Dennis
those
was
old
glitching.
computer sounds.
They still use AOL over there and or dial-up over there.
Oh, right.
Dial up. That's what it is.
Brain has performed an illegal operation and will be shut down.
Thank you. Thank you all so bloody much.
You are watching the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Yes, welcome to America's favorite Seahawk-themed trivia game. It is 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Of the world!
The game that challenges the trivia, challenges the policy. And those watching the show, Dad got it, got me. For those watching the show, your questions will be in your lower left-hand corner. Play along and let us know how you did. But for this, the contestants are the policy themselves, Matt Littlemo, Will Harrison, and Dustin. Here are...
Hey, what are these trivia questions about?
Well, just a minute.
I changed my mind for who I want the coach to be.
Here are the rules.
Bob
You
Peters.
each get 2 rounds of questions, 1 point for each correct answer. And during your question, once per 2 rounds, you can ask me to remove a wrong answer. After that, we will have a final question, high-low. And if there's a tie after that, we'll have a top secret probation overtime question. The topic is mostly Pete Carroll with a little year-end fun thrown in for flavor, so to speak.
Wrigley invented the first brand of gum in what year?
Yeah.
Now, that would have been a good one. Will, 1, 2, 3, or 4?
1, please.
All right. Little Mo, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, okay. Easy there, Tex Jr. Matt, 3, 4.
3, please.
Dustin, you have 4.
Okay.
All right. These are Pete Carroll questions, 3 out of 4 of them. And Will, you have a Pete Carroll question. How many Orange Bowl games did Pete Carroll win as head coach of USC? 2, 3, or 4? How many Orange Bowl wins for Pete?
Take one down and pass it around.
Either 2 or 3.
I'm gonna say 4.
Little strategy, Cotton.
I'll go 2.
We'll go 2.
2.
We'll go right. Both of those, by the way, if you're curious and keeping score at home, 2002 and 2004. All right. Little Mo, your question is a year-end question.
Great. Fantastic.
Who spent the most weeks at the top of the Billboard charts in the year 2023? Was it Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, or Morgan Wallen?
Who the hell is Morgan Wallen?
I was about to say that. You're too young to do the old man yells at cloud routine.
He's a country artist.
Who spent the most weeks at the top of the charts in the year 2023?
Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
Miley Cyrus?
Probably good guess.
Taylor Swift.
You going with Taylor Swift?
I feel like, yeah.
Morgan
Who the
Wallen.
hell?
In the
What?
name of
16 weeks. I don't know.
I know he had a little beef with Ryan Upchurch, if that helps you at all, if you know Ryan Upchurch.
I don't even.
He's a country rapper. Morgan's a country singer.
country rap.
Oh, you know what,
yeah.
Morgan? Wait,
Oh, yeah.
did you say, what's the name of the guy, Upchurch?
Ryan Upchurch.
Ryan Upchurch, yeah. There's a Brian Down Synagogue that I've heard before. Is that close?
Yeah, very similar.
Matt,
he substituted for Reverend Moses one.
He did. I think he did.
Funny thing is, that's not even a stage name. That's his real name.
Wow.
The fact that he's a rapper and he has church in his name, that's pretty interesting.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Country.
Hi.
How many times did Pete Carroll win the Pac-10 title? 6, 7, or 8?
Now, let me tell you now, I've got a sneaking suspicion I'm not going to do very well at this trivia.
Right on.
Why would you say that?
Because I don't know anything about any college game stuff. So,
It's not all college
Either.
questions.
I don't watch college football at all.
can you take one away?
I can. It's either 7 or 8.
He just says no.
8.
He's going with 8. That was 7.
Duh.
From
Can't even get a 50-50 right.
from 2002 to 2009, 8. 8. No,
7.
9. Yeah.
5.
Come on. Anyway.
10.
I'm still
27.
shell shocked. I'm
Along
still
those
shell shocked from the idea of there being country rappers like the baby.
Yeah, he's not very country, I want to say.
Dustin, what NFL team was Pete Carroll's first head coaching job in the NFL? Was it the Patriots?
I know
the
this
Giants,
one.
or the
Oh, I
Jets?
know this one.
The Jets.
It was the Jets.
Why don't you give
It
me
was
that
Jets.
question?
That one I could have
jerk?
got.
I know.
You wouldn't have got the Ryan Upchurch question.
No, I wouldn't have got that one.
Yeah.
Not that he was
Would have
even
got that
involved.
church question, man. Okay, so Will with 1, Dustin with 1.
Hey, Matt.
Hey Mo.
We have 0. I was just okay. Go ahead.
May I proceed?
No.
You may proceed.
I'm proceeding. Will, 5, 6, 7, 8.
5.
Spoon scooting baby is trapped.
What'd you say? 5?
5.
5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, and 2, and breathe.
Anyway.
Fosse. All right. Dustin,
Yes.
6 or 7 or 8.
6, please.
Little Mo,
7.
or
And
you get number 8.
you get nothing.
All right.
Nothing.
Will,
You lose.
What?
according to Box Office Mojo, what was the top grossing domestic film of 2023?
What
Barbie,
did you just
Oppenheimer,
say?
or Super Mario Brothers?
Oh, we
Movie.
can take away one. I already
Barbie.
know.
What?
It's gotta be
Barbie.
Barbie. Gotta
He
be
says-
Barbie.
He's well. Okay, it's not your question, Dustin.
I know. He said it
Yeah,
first.
that's
I
why.
didn't
That's
say
why I
first.
said it.
I'm glad-
Barbie.
Dustin's very excited about this question, but it's not his. All right.
I figured it had to be Super Mario or Barbie, but I think it's Barbie.
Oh, was it last week where he just gave him the answer?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but Will
Yes.
said it first this time, so that doesn't count.
So yeah. So in case you just missed it, Matt, Dustin helped Will with his answer.
Not
He's-
again.
Yeah, Barbie. He's right too. So
That
I
was
knew
a
it
surprisingly
anyway. I,
good
didn't-
movie.
I don't need no stinking Dustin.
no.
Yeah.
I think that Will's got like Dustin under some sort of blackmail charge or something.
I think
that
so,
he has to
too.
help him out with trivia or something.
Barbie was
Dustin.
surprisingly good. I did not want to see that movie at
Barbie
all.
was wonderful. I
And
love
watched
that
6
movie.
times.
So good.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed
I
it.
really did too. It was so well done. Dustin, how many
Moses,
Rose Bowl
You're
games?
Ken enough.
How many
We're
Rose
out.
Bowl games did Pete Carroll win as head coach of USC? 2, 3, or 4? How many
I don't
Rose
know, he
Bowl?
won- I don't know, he won 2 Orange Bowls. I'll say 2 Rose Bowls also.
2 Orange Bowls, 2 Rose Bowls, 4.
That's what I said.
Yeah, okay. Little Mo,
Yes.
Pete Carroll's first NFL regular coaching job was with what team? The Bills, the Jets, or the 49ers?
I think I know
Not
this.
head coaching.
I
This
think
is
I know
his
this.
coaching
Take
job.
one away.
You're going to take one away. I'm going to take away the Jets. It's either the 49ers or the Bills. His first NFL job.
I think
I would
49ers.
have really thought it was in Minnesota. I would have really thought Minnesota with Bud Grant.
49ers.
What did you say?
49ers.
Bills.
Son of a foot.
Yeah. First
The
coaching
Bills?
job was with the Bills. Yeah.
Son
I
of
think he
a
was
foot.
defensive. I think he was defensive coordinator with the 49ers.
Do you like that? Will?
After that, yeah.
After
But
that.
Bills, yeah. Matt, in what year was Pete Carroll Home Depot Coach of the Year? It's another college question. 2003, 2004, 2005.
Home Depot.
Matt shops at Lowe's, so you know.
Yeah. So fuck that question.
Dang.
God. 2004.
2004. No, 2003. Little
my kid was
Mo
born.
and Matt with nothing. Dustin with 1. Will with 2. But that's okay. You know why?
Shocker.
It's time for the final question.
Question.
All right.
Final question.
All right. Final question. Here's how this works. It's high or low. And it's a number. And whoever's close to luck going over gets the 2 points. There is a chance for overtime. The order will go Matt, Little Mo, Dustin, and Will. It is a percentage. And that's right, Dustin.
27.
It's math. So it's a percentage to 3 decimal spots.
Wait.
So like a batting average. 300,
Okay.
321,
I gotcha.
314.
Okay.
All right.
It's a
Here we
curveball.
go. Matt, the question is, what is Pete Carroll's all-time winning percentage at USC? At USC,
Ooh.
Matt.
I think he was
Winning.
batting like 980.
Matt, at
I don't
USC.
know anything about any of this. But you want a percentage though, so any percentage will do between 0 and 100.
The batting
Between
average.
0 and 1,000, yes.
0 1,000. So
Like if he'd gone one half his games, he'd have a percentage of
500.
500.
500.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care.
Nobody cares.
I mean, he's gone now. Could have a question about
He's
Dan.
left me in charge.
0.821.
0.821. 21. Little Mo.
It's actually a good guess. I'm going to guess someone in the 80s. So I'll go 0.857.
821-857. All right. Dustin.
Yeah.
With Dustin's too high. Will remember this. That would be something on his birthday or something. He'd have done it or something.
He's exactly right.
They have the exact number.
I'm gonna
No, we
say
wanna-
895.
Okay. Here we are, Will. 821-857-895.
1 yard. No.
0.1. No.
They could.
Let's do 876.
876.
I may have gone a little high.
The
Go for a bit lower.
all-time winning percentage at USC for Pete Carroll. 836. Excellent
Wow.
guesses, everybody. But Matt, you have forced overtime.
Overtime!
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Matt
we haven't had
was not even
overtime
going.
forever.
All right, Matt.
I
we're
picked
gonna
3
have-
random numbers.
I am.
Here we go, ready? I don't have a song for overtime.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
The first
overtime.
here.
Dustin, me and you, let's go.
Yeah. All right, this is just Matt and Will.
But Dustin
Matt-
can help if he wants.
Matt goes
Hold
first.
on.
It may accidentally happen.
Will goes second.
27.
Here is, again, this is a number now. It's not a percentage, it's just a number.
It's your number now. Okay.
27.
I took the date
Yeah.
that was Pete Carroll's goodbye presser at USC. And I
Oh,
took
God.
the date that was Pete Carroll's presser
I
goodbye
don't know.
from Seattle. And I want to know how many days was it between those two conferences. And we'll start with
14
Matt.
years. 14 years. Actually, no more than that.
Hold on. I can work this out. Bear with. So, calculator.
How's that different than Google? I'm just asking.
No, it's calculator. I'll do that.
Saying, how is that different than Google? It's a math question.
How many days in a year?
Well, you can use calculator if you need to.
That's I don't know why you complain about using a calculator when it comes to math. We know that's what you always used.
Plus that.
Now I just
Add
get
it.
math.
Well, n plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra days. Plus, it would have been 2, yeah, on that. So I'm going to say 5,346 days.
5, 3, 4, 6. Well,
1 day. That's what that would make sense. That's the math.
well, okay, if I'm Will, I'm either doing 53-47 or 1. I mean, honestly.
Now I'll pick something for fun. 5,262.
All right. 53-46, 5,262. It was almost literally the same day. which
That's
is
what I
odd.
thought. Yeah.
Only a day off and 14 years, but you've got leap year in there and you got all this other stuff. And it came out to be 5,113 days. Will, you are the 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia champion of the world. Congratulations.
Wow.
Thanks. You know, if I had done my calculation, this literally I would have gotten it.
Wow.
What?
I was just gonna take 14 years, and then when you said that it was the same day, it's like, damn, I could have gotten this head on.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Congratulations, Will.
Thank you, sir.
Another well fought, heart-wrenching, head-stomping,
It was a thing that
butt-farting,
happened.
Head coach firing.
head coach
Yeah.
firing, advisor-seeking edition.
I got nothing.
No, you got nothing. We've been waiting
We
for
win.
you.
We all win.
We all win.
Octopus.
Octopus edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia
Of the world.
of the
The
world.
world.
We'll come back and talk more about Coach Carroll. We're going to talk about our favorite memories, and we're going to say thank you and goodbye and best wishes.
I deep throated a pencil.
And you choked.
to the
Deep
best
throat edition
head
of-
coach,
And
the
you
best head
choked.
coach
At least that's a verb.
in the NFL of all time, in our opinion.
I
Have a
mean,
good
you
gag.
We'll be right back.
You are watching the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production. Holy shit, it's the third quarter!
Welcome to the second half of a very special 12-Man Fan Jam Show, an episode dedicated to Pete Carroll, who is no longer the coach of the Seahawks as of very recent. And we kind of talked about what our initial reaction was when we heard the news and who we thought might replace Pete, just kind of having some fun. Now we're going to talk about what our memories, maybe a specific memory or two of what you think of or what you're going to think of, what you're going to carry from Pete, either as a coach or personal or whatever. And I'm going to start with Dustin. Dustin, what's a memory of Pete Carroll you'd like to share with all of us?
Well, got a couple. First one, we'll just kind of in general, don't get specific, but like the players that he took chances on and the players that he brought in, the fact that he did that, I mean, that actually created memories for me and my family. And for the website we were on once upon a time, Dennis. So
Oh
I
yeah,
remember Doug Baldwin was an undrafted free agent. Seattle
He
brought
was.
him in. He made the team that year. For Motherland, the get together that we had, myself, Ryan Fawcett, and I can't remember, somebody else was there, can't remember who, but we were at the team shop and we actually ran into Doug Baldwin. He was there.
Mhm.
And we asked him, I was like, Doug, we're doing this thing for our website, to keep it running, we do these raffles and whatnot. If we bought your jersey, would you autograph it for us? And he was like, absolutely, let's do it. So bought Doug's jersey right then and there, and he
Nice.
autographed it for us for the website. And yeah, and help
Nice.
keep it going. And if a guy like Pete hadn't taken a chance on Doug, who knows what would have happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the impact that he had has an umbrella effect. Obviously, it affects the players.
Mhm.
The players affect the fans. Well, it's all over the place. It's
Mhm.
pretty incredible.
It
and
is.
then like Golden Tate, I remember. So it's Doug Baldwin and Golden Tate memory. My kids were in the fan club for the Seahawks, and we got to go to a practice. And as part of the practice, the kids got to go sit on the field, and a Seahawks player would come over and talk to them, and at the practice facility. And as we're running out on the field, one of the players jumps by and he like tickles my kid on the waist and goes running. And my kid jumped around. He's turning like, "What was that? What happened?" I was like, "That was Golden Tate. He just tickled you. He got you."
Nice.
He was just
Nice.
taking off running, messing with the kids, and
Nice.
then sat down and Doug Baldwin came out to talk to the kids about what's important, and he said, "What's the most important thing you can do?" And they're talking about football stuff, and he's like, "These are good answers. Most important thing you can do is educate yourself. Learn, figure out things. Get schooling. Stuff like that. That's what he was preaching to the kids, and you definitely know that's going to have an impact on a lot of those kids." And then after Pete Carroll signed with the Seahawks, this is a more specific one, or I guess, more Pete Carroll specific one. He did an autograph signing for his book at JBLM, which is where I worked at the time. So my wife and I, we took the kids over and we actually got to meet Pete Carroll and get the book autographed and everything.
Nice.
And the coolest thing he did was we're all waiting in line. And when he showed up, before he sat down to autograph anything, he went to the very end of the line, shook everybody's hand on the way up to the spot where he was going to sign. Yeah,
Wow.
shook every single person's hand, stopped and talked to him for a minute.
Amazing.
Every single person in line.
Amazing.
And then he went and he sat down and we started going through and he'd autograph the books and do pictures. And
That's
I
great.
put a picture of that in the messenger groups. You can use that for this if you want to.
Yeah. Well,
Me and my kids when they're little and Pete
Nice.
Carroll. And yeah. So it was
nice
the
memory.
man was a legend.
He is. He
just-
still is. I mean, he's still a class. He's still legend.
Yeah, is a legend. I
But
guess.
yeah.
He's still with us.
Great,
Like
great
Mark, he's still
memories.
with us.
Those are
Yeah.
some great memories, Dustin.
Yeah.
Matt, what about you?
Mine, I've never been fortunate enough to meet Pete Carroll, so I don't have any direct memories like Dustin does. But for me, it's the things that a 70-odd-year-old man still does that always shocked me. And I think I don't know how long I'll live. I haven't got a clue. But if I get to the age of 72 or whatever, I need to feel like I have the same spirit and energy in life
Absolutely.
that Pete Carroll has, because that's a ridiculous amount of life to squeeze into one body. There's a lot going on there. I think two things always bring to mind when I think of Pete Carroll, and the first one is kind of funny, but it's about a year ago or so. I think it was at Renton, but it was the scooter incident when all the players are going past.
Oh, that was so funny.
And there's a 70-year-old Pete Carroll just zooming past on a scooter.
That's so
And you're
funny.
like,
Oh,
that's just the weirdest thing. And the sudden need to have your hat backwards at a conference,
Oh, that's
at
right.
a press conference.
Yeah.
Yes, he could chew gum at 1,000 miles an hour. Yes, he wore funny shoes, or comfortable shoes, Monarch Air on the sidelines. Yes, he was your granddad in all forms, but he was a granddad which had more life than any person I can think of, mostly on that field. The last thing I want to say is after Super Bowl, the win 48, and the trophy announcement, and there's confetti everywhere, and there's stuff going on. I was watching from a pub in London. We had Ian was there. We had, we were all there. Everyone was there. Everyone was there. Mudge was there. We were all there. We were all watching this moment. We were all gathered around and everything. And Pete's words, and I kind of remember them, always have done, and I wrote them down every time because it always gets me. But he pulled the microphone back and said, "I just got one more thing, or I've got to say this. We take this trophy back." And every player here, everybody here knows it. All the players know it. We take this trophy back to the 12th man. An unbelievable spirit. It's their trophy. And he said that, and to a man in this pub, we lost it.
Oh, I imagine. How could you not?
We lost it.
How could you not?
What I would say about Pete Carroll is the man is a force of nature, a spirit that's contained. There's so much energy, so much life force there. And if we can all live to be as old and as great as Pete Carroll, then we're all doing really well.
Amazing. That was very well done. That's a great memory for sure. Real quick, Lil Mo's mom, when Macklemore was on Twitter, and he was of course a big Seahawk fan, and she showed me the first time he got a pair of Pete Carroll's. He kept showing up his shoes, the white shoes. And he take the camera, he go, "Oh, look, I'm wearing Pete Carroll's." And then he was like at a practice, he goes, "Oh, Pete's wearing Pete Carroll's." Like, it was so funny. Macklemore for like a year kept looking at everybody's shoes going, "Oh, look, that guy's wearing Pete Carroll's," or whatever. And I just thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, that was kind of funny. Little Mo, what are your memories?
You got to help me, but when we went to it was a Super Bowl with
oh yeah, I'm going to share that as well. The EMP, your first time at a game was the Cowboys, and they did not win. But Neil Hart, our friend Kilt, man, he said the whole family went, all four of us, and Neil said the EMP's doing an exhibition for the 12th man. They're doing a VIP thing to open it. I got you all tickets. So we went in, and there's like 20 people there that were not bigwigs. Not very many people there that weren't like writers. Like I talked to Clarence Farnsworth about kids for 10 minutes. I mean, this is,
Oh, that's cool.
you know, I'm hobnobbing with everybody. So I will share my moment later, but right now,
man.
Do what?
Claire Farnsworth is actually a guy.
He is. And a wonderful, friendly man at that.
Yeah.
Incredible guy at that. So, Millball, that's what you're talking about, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I got to get autographs from. Well, I will say first, it was actually cool to see Pete Carroll. I think this is holding his granddaughter. I think, right?
Yes.
And just seeing him be a grandpa for a little bit was very cool to see. Just outside of
Absolutely.
football, but I got autographs from Paul Allen, John Schneider, Pete Carroll, and
McLaughlin, the president.
You know, and he did a little pat on my head when he walked by, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
I think you were maybe you weren't 10 yet. You weren't 10 yet.
I think it's crazy Sarah McLaughlin was there.
Yeah. No, that's a great memory, Lil Mose. I'll put a couple pictures up from that moment. That was a good moment. Him signing
I have upstairs a little thing they signed. I have upstairs.
It's a book. Yeah, it's a book.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. That's a great memory. Will, what do you got?
Well, I only briefly met Pete Carroll one time when I was at training camp practice, and he came by and shook our hands. And the one thing that struck me was like, wow, he's got a pretty firm handshake. I was not expecting that. I gotta believe. But there's so many fun Pete Carroll moments. One that came to mind just a few minutes ago was when he met with DK Metcalf, and somebody pranked DK.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So then Pete peeled his shirt off, and everybody's just losing it. Total Pete Carroll move. But honestly, when I think of Pete Carroll, I think of that. What was the show? Mic'd Up or sound effects on
Sounds of the Game or what? Yeah, sound effects. That's it.
The one they did on Super Bowl 48, and Pete was one of the guys mic'd up, and just seeing him, pregame and then bouncing around at that game, and complaining to one of the officials about not getting a call, and running around going nuts, getting dunked on with Gatorade, and just seeing my coach get the Gatorade dunked for a change instead of somebody else's. That when I think of Pete Carroll, I just think of him, what I saw of him that day. So that's just was cool.
I agree with you all. You've all really spoken very well about what you think of when you see Pete Carroll, and I agree on all fronts. I think we see all that and more. I want to go back to that moment in the EMP, because like I said, a lot of people, and there was a reception, so to speak. So there was music playing and everyone's hobnobbing with each other. And Mark Ty Turner.
I also wore the not to brag, but I also wore the Super Bowl ring.
Also wore a Super Bowl ring. It had a Super Bowl ring that you could try on. And before they opened everything, everyone's just kind of waiting around for things to start. And I look over the corner of the place, and by himself, with no one around, Pete is holding his grandbaby, and I mean about this big grandbaby, and is dancing by himself. There's no one around. And when I think of Pete Carroll, I think of that moment. Grandpa with his granddaughter, maybe, I don't even know at this point.
Yeah.
And just seeing him be, and that tells you a lot about what kind of guy a person is right there. And no cameras, nothing on him. I don't think I took any pictures of that. Maybe I did. I'll have to look. But I didn't want to ruin it by taking pictures, because I thought if he also would take pictures, he might stop or whatever. But I just, as a father, stopped and admired him just being a grandpa, and just thought, wow, that guy is my coach. And I will always think of that moment, him dancing with just looking at her and talking to her and cooing to her while he's just dancing. It just looks that you couldn't be happier or more proud or more full of love than that guy was at that moment. And I'm like, that's my head coach. That's my head coach.
Yeah, and stuff like that, just him being genuine and him being him. He doesn't, I'm sure he doesn't even realize, like, he doesn't know that was a moment for you.
No, he'll never do that.
Yeah, he just,
unless he watches the show, but
yeah,
obviously.
Oh, so obviously, well, he has time now.
Got plenty on his hands.
Ouch.
Yeah, but the Super Bowl
anymore.
Yeah, the Super Bowl ring thing you guys were talking about trying on and stuff. That's more of the umbrella effect I was talking about.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
like, they won that Super Bowl, right? And then Richard Sherman, he bought his family rings, right?
Yeah.
Well, his family used to tailgate with us all the time.
Oh,
So, yeah, so Kevin, his dad, actually wore his Super Bowl ring to the tailgate one time, and he
Man.
was letting people try it on. I got to try on Kevin Sherman's Super Bowl
nice.
ring. Yeah,
Very
that
nice.
Sherman bought him just because, like I said, we got that Super Bowl, and then Sherman did his thing, and then it makes its way back down to the fans. When they say
It
they do
does.
stuff for fans, it's true.
Yeah,
They-
I have something like that with the little umbrella effect. When they played it in Indianapolis here in 2013. But yes, am I right?
14,
we
I
went
think,
down-
but yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
2013 because I think
It was a Super Bowl year. Yeah.
It was 13. I was
13.
there.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, me and Dad, we went down to basically meet a bunch of players, and it wasn't Pete, but just the players he had on the team and how nice they were to me,
Yeah.
and how awesome. We
Mhm.
actually walked down with KJ White's parents, actually.
Yeah. We have to find it. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Well, and one quick thing also, I'll tell you another thing I remember about Pete Carroll, and this was very start of his coaching. The very start of his coaching, he brought in Lindale White and he brought in Washington. And Lindale had been with him at USC. And Lindale White came in thinking that, well, Pete's going to let me get by with whatever. Lindale White lasted a week and a half and he was
Yeah, they
gone.
Cut his ass. Yep.
That is
And
the first time I really thought he could be successful here
Me
because
too.
everyone thought he was going to bring in his old guys.
of course, and buddy, he's a players coach. But this is what a real players coach is. He was a players coach, but he didn't put up with the crap either. And
Yeah.
when he cut Lundale away, I went, wow, okay, this guy is, if
That
he's
was-
players coach, he's for real.
That was a surprise move for
Yeah.
sure.
I thought that
Yeah,
was
the
great.
fact that he didn't put up with Eddie. I mean, he didn't put up with
didn't.
stuff at all.
And Lundale was showing up late and he wasn't doing stuff, and you're out. We're not
Well,
winning.
at that point, he didn't. With
Yeah.
established stars like Marshawn, Marshawn's gonna be Marshawn.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Again, that's one of those.
Marshawn.
We don't have the Beastquake. If Pete Carroll and John Schneider hadn't been so animate about bringing Marshawn over from Buffalo in the
Absolutely.
first place,
Truth.
and we don't get that awesome personality in Seattle. We don't get the Beast Mode shop in Seattle. We don't get
And
him as
no
owner.
one-
owners
No one
of-
takes a
We don't
no
get
one
that.
takes a chance on Sherman because he's a loudmouth,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well,
Too
and the
slow
thing
to play the
about
position.
Beast Mode is at the time he was on the bench and he had a history,
Yeah.
in Buffalo. And they made it very clear on the day they traded him, because I remember listening to the press conference. This is our guy that we want to be the center of our team. And I thought, okay, I mean, you're bringing a guy over that has a history. That's kind of an attitude, but okay. And how was he in Seattle? Wow, he was amazing.
Yeah.
His
Both
style
on
of
and off
play
the
was-
field. He was
And
amazing.
who did he replace? Julius Jones. Enough
Yes.
said.
Enough
The good
said.
thing
Well,
is
another
that-
one is go ahead.
well, we haven't lost all of that because 50% of that is John Schneider and he's still here.
Yes.
So that this is still a thing.
Yep.
We're not mourning the loss of an entire program of work
No.
or anything. It's
No.
it's a change, but I don't think it's going to be, as we said, I don't think it's going to be a complete philosophy change at Seattle.
I don't
think that's
either.
good. I don't think that would work.
No, I don't think it would either. All right. Well, let's end the third quarter here. All right, coming up, we are going to say our thank yous and our best wishes to the best coach in the history of the Seahawks, one Mr. Pete Carroll, and we're going to do that right after this. Get pumped and get jacked, folks.
Give me the juice.
Get the juice.
You are watching the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production. It's the fourth quarter, bitches!
Welcome to the fourth and final quarter of a very special Pete Carroll edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. That's Will, that's Dustin, that's Little Mo, that's Matt, and this is your self-appointed Reverend Moses. So the last quarter here, we're going to go ahead and kind of say, if we could have Pete actually watch this show, wouldn't that be neat? And watch this far, it'd be a miracle. But just in case
I've already
Pete's
said
out
my
there,
piece.
yeah. We're going to start with Dustin. And Dustin, if you could say anything to Pete right now at this moment, what would you say? Besides you're tired, which, yeah.
Thank you. I mean, for everything. I mean, the Super Bowl, the memories, the players, the culture change that he brought to Seattle football and kind of Seattle in general as sports fans. Look at the support that they would get. The players would show to the Mariners or the Mariners that come over and do things with the Seahawks, or they made it more of a family thing, and that family extended outside of just the Seahawks. It went to everywhere else. I mean, like I said, Marshawn's a part of the Kraken. Yeah, you got Russell Wilson's part owner of the Sounders. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, that everything they did, everything that he's done, just thank you for that. And I think if I'm talking to him, I think that your impact that you have on people and players in the community was no more evident than the other night when former players and they all met up at the bar or at the restaurant, Cam and Shirt's restaurant.
Wonderful moment.
Yeah. Players that were there a long time ago, current players. Russell Wilson flew up for it. And the funniest thing I thought about that was the thing Sherman Wilson apparently were like, look what you had to do to get us to get together and have fun again. Something
which
along
is
those
very
lines.
nice. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean,
good to see that.
The man is loved, and we're going to miss seeing him on the sidelines.
I agree. Will, does April have anything she wants to add?
No, April doesn't. But
Okay.
if I were going to meet up with Pete Carroll, I'd keep it simple and just say, Pete, I've been rooting for this team since I was 5 years old. You brought us our first championship, and I'll never be able to thank you enough for that.
I think that's
for some
really
reason.
easy.
That'll do, Pete. That'll do.
That'll do, Pete. That'll do. Little Mo, what would you say? We know what you do during break, but what would you say?
Why did you not run the ball?
Stop
it.
Boo.
No, I mean, yeah,
You'd say, why would you not run the ball?
No, I would say what I've said, like Sheriff. Pretty much what we've said throughout the show. I mean,
yeah, it's been said. Thank you. I agree.
Yeah.
Matt?
I mean,
I think I would, thank you for 5 divisional titles. Thank you for 10 playoff games. Thank you for reminding us that we can in Seattle win. That we're not, you're not Southern Alaska. You're not in the middle of nowhere. You're a destination for football players across the world who wanted to come and play as part of a scheme, part of a program which they actively wanted to be part of. That they you weren't going to end up in Cleveland at best. You were going to end up in Seattle, and that's a hell of a place to be if you get there. If you get the lucky chance to be there. So, thank you for bringing that culture. Thank you for bringing that optimism. Thank you for reminding us that we can win. Thank you for reminding us that Super Bowls are hard, that they're not easy.
Yes.
And that sometimes you can't take them for granted. And in many ways, thank you for giving, as an outsider, I suppose, but thank you for giving Seattle the confidence to believe in itself as a sporting venue, because I know how hard it hurt when they lost the Sonics. I know, that it felt it was on a down. It was going in the wrong direction. And Pete comes in at the right time and brings his infectious energy and his infectious optimism and injects that, as Dustin so rightly says, not just in Seattle sports, in Seahawks sports, but in all the sports around that area. So, community leaders and community changes, people who motivate and change communities don't come along very often. But Seattle got a good one. And as an outsider, I think that the benefits that he brings to this city are immeasurable and will remain as well. They're not going to just fade away. And I don't think he's going to disappear either. Really.
No, I don't either.
He's got multiple homes now. I think I would say, from a fan from thousands of miles away, thank you for creating a legacy that I can be proud of, and I can travel to the States and enjoy my time with friends, and for making a a legacy of a sports team, which has created connections that we're even sitting here and activating today. So Pete's legacy goes far beyond what Pete even knows what he's done. And we'll continue to build on that.
Yeah, nice. I think I would, speaking as a fan in Indiana, where even during the Holmgren era, I'd wear Seahawks shirts and they'd be like, why?
Yep.
I don't have that
They
anymore.
still do.
No, they really don't. Not as much as, believe me, as they used to. And that right there, the franchise that we all watch, Holmgren changed the culture and made it acceptable to be a fan. But I think Pete made it as a team you take seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Holmgren, we had that Super Bowl year, but let's be honest. Of all of Holmgren's teams, how many of them could you really say were a Super Bowl contender? That one, and then maybe the year after. But then we were looking at a team that was going to win 9 or 10 games, win a playoff game maybe, and that was about it.
Bless
even
you.
then,
Bless you.
who sneezed?
I did.
Oh.
I muted it.
Oh, okay, bless you. But now, when you tell us why you're a Seahawk fan, they don't say why. They say, "Oh, that's it's a good team," or you can say Seahawks in Super Bowl without giggling. That came from me. I think that came more from Pete than it did from Mike. And even though Mike was getting us there, Pete took us the rest of the way. And whoever's coming in is going to have incredible shoes to fill. I will end with this. 14 years ago on a webpage that Dustin and I and Matt all met on, I made a song, a parody to Give Peace a Chance, called Give Pete a Chance. And I did it with the help of the guy who ran that webpage, who's no longer with us. And he put pictures to it and he recorded us singing. I didn't sing. I kind of just, my idea was to just kind of say it like Bill Stein, from Ferris Bueller, just very, everybody's talking
Ben
about
Stein.
my division, just
Ben
very
Stein,
dry.
Ben Stein.
Ben
Yeah,
Stein,
Ben
thank
Stein.
you. Ben Stein, thank you. Very mellow, very boring kind of tone. And so I did this and we thought it was kind of cool. And I got a call from him the next day. It said the Seahawks have contacted me. They want to put their pictures, because we had USC pictures with Pete. They had Seahawk pictures they wanted to use for the video. Can we give them the, we'll absolutely give them the song. It's still on. It's called Give Pete a Chance. It says Dan Nippenberg. I'm not Dan, but it's me.
I sang on that.
Looked
I
that up
sang on
about a
that.
week ago, and it's still up and around. And
Wow.
so I said, even then, give Pete a chance. Couldn't be happier that this franchise gave Pete a chance 14 years ago, because we took a chance with a guy that was very successful in college, was very unorthodox in what he did, and it worked. Boy, oh boy, did it work. And like I said, it was going to work or it's not going to work. Well, it really worked. And so
It's typically how things go. Typically
yeah.
things work or don't work.
Well, I mean, either really not work, or we were going to be 6-10, or we're going to be Super Bowl champs, one or the other. And we wound up being Super Bowl champs. And so on behalf of everyone here, everyone at the Seahawk Positivity Productions, everyone who is involved with the show, and especially myself, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church Seahawk Positivity, Pete Carroll. I'm going to say go Hawks, but more importantly, Pete Carroll. From the bottom of all our hearts, we want to say thank you for 14 beautiful years.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pete.
And go Hawks.
And go Hawks.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All we are saying is give Pete a chance.
Pete Carroll, it's a new era of Seahawk football.
All we are saying is give Pete a chance.
Seahawk domination is just around the corner. Come on, Seahawk Nation.